intervention by a concerned citizen of the area to save the situation.
Brakwa Kokoso Islamic School is the only government school in the Brakwa community in the Sekuma Odobin Brakwa district. The school has a population of over 1,000 and has been divided into two clusters, Kokoso A and B. During ICT lessons, over 60 students in a class use a rented computer for the lesson. Students, particularly those in their final year who will write ICT at the Basic Education Certificate Examination, struggle with the subject due to the lack of access to computers. Some students, teachers, and community members shared their frustration with City News.
Sometimes our ICT teacher will talk to us and then we will never see what he's saying about, because what he's saying, I was, oh yeah, but I don't know what actually he's talking about.
So it was difficult?
So it was very, very difficult.
So how were you able to write the exams and all?
Sometimes he sometimes shows us some pictures on his phone and sometimes bring us his machines, and that's not the right to do it.
When we are learning IT without computer, we find it difficult to understand certain things because the teacher will come and stand there teach, but everything will not. We can't understand everything.
There's no practical.
Yes, and we couldn't understand what the teacher is talking about. We can hear it right, but without practicals, it is difficult for us to understand it.
It's not easy to teach students without computer for them to pass in BEC. Actually, what we do is sometimes we rent projectors. When you are teaching them, they seem like you are performing magic because there are not enough machines to teach them. We rent machines. Sometimes I have to bring 3 or 5 machines, and then we project it on the wall, and then for the student able to do the practicals.
The school is not only struggling with the lack of access to computers, as it is also confronted with sanitation and erosion challenges.
Dumping site is a problem. You see, when you go there, then the community is disturbing us with this dumps and other things. So children are always, sometimes in early morning, they will go there and then sweep the dumping site and others before we go to the classroom and teach. So it's a very big challenge. We have no playing field. Looking at our compound, the compound is not all that level. Looking at the surface of the field, erosion is a very big problem over there. So when you go there right now, you see some holes, potholes and other things. So sometimes when they are playing, they hurt.
Through the efforts of a benevolent individual who is also a former student of the school, the over 1,000 students can now heave a sigh of relief as they have been provided with a 20-seater ultramodern ICT lab. He explains to City News the rationale behind the gesture.
It's sad that a student from this area will never see a computer or touch a computer before, but such a student will have to compete with his counterparts in Accra and Kumasi and the other big cities. So my main rationale is to be able to give this student a fair playing field so that they can also do well and excel in the ICT and improve their overall BEC aggregate. Seeing a couple of teacher Kojo's video on Facebook and a couple of others that will draw a computer on the board. So it dawned on me that even the school that I attended in a village doesn't have access to such facility. So right after that thought came to me, I said, let me do everything that I can to be able to put this project forward. Because, sometimes when something doesn't hit you, you don't realize how privileged you are. So I realized, no, if these students, that I was there before, I was there like them. It was by the grace that I made it. So why can't I do something to help them?
The over 1,000 students of Brakwa Kokoso Islamic Basic School can heave a sigh of relief as they will have access to learn ICT, like this girl just beside me. They will also have the privilege to compete with their peers in Accra, who are also learning ICT, and write the BEC exams. Carver Stete, City News, Brakwa.
You're still watching the City Newsroom here on City TV. Still ahead. Stakeholders call for the inclusion